Hi everyone, welcome back to the 770 tutorial. I'm going to show you some basic things on the machine today to get you started with your new machine. These basic things are on all the 7 series. So today I'm just going to go through a few of the things on the screen for you, and then I'm going to teach you how to clean and oil your sewing machine. One of the most important things. And also, did you know that the life of a needle is only 8 hours of sewing? So your machine needle that you have on your machine, the life of the needle is 8 hours. So please, please, please change your needles regularly. Okay, it's very, very important. So first of all, I just want to let you know that you have got an amazing stylus that comes with your machine. And this is wonderful because instead of you pushing with your fingers onto the screen, you can just touch it with the stylus and it makes it very, very clear and precise to which stitch you are wanting to select. So I'm just going to show you the things on the front of your machine so you're fully aware of everything. And the one thing is your knee control. Now when you put your knee control in, you can see it's on an angle here. Do not try and put it in straight up and down. It needs to go in on that angle because it pushes in quite firmly. So do not put it in straight, put it in on a little bit of an angle, and then you can just wriggle it gently and feel where it goes. I have had a customer push it in, trying to make it go straight up and down, and she damaged the inside of her new machine. Now the knee control is designed just to lift the foot up and down. Okay, that's all it's designed for. And if you have pushed this button and your foot is already up, it is designed to put it down. Okay, so that's what the knee control does. It's not like the old machines, it does not make it so. It just simply lifts the foot up and down. Okay, so the next thing is, I'm just going to run through these 4 buttons here. So the first one, your machine can sew without the use of your foot control. Actually, I don't even have a foot control in because I don't use one, so I'll get one. How fun is that? I work a lot on these machines without the foot control. So this one here is going to make my machine work without the use of a foot control. And this speed dial here that goes from minimum to maximum is going to be the speed my machine works. So if I lift my foot up and I put my fabric under, and I push this button, it's going to sew without me doing any work. So I'm just guiding it. So if I want to go slower, I can go slower. And if I want to go faster, I can go faster. Okay, so this is called your start-stop button. Just put it back to straight sewing. Oh, using my stylus, of course, notice that. This one, you would have noticed I pushed and it lifts my foot up and down. Okay, so foot down, foot up, right? The next one is going to cut my thread. So this is called my scissor cutter. And it cuts my thread. And it's a very, very, very good button. Now I can actually set my scissor cutter to lock off 4 stitches in one place before it cuts. And this is a brand new machine, so I'm going to show you how I set that. So what you do is you come up here to your screen here and you go to settings. Okay, so you just push the settings button and I'm going to go to straight sew zigzag and I'm going to go to this little picture of a hand and I'm going to touch that. And you can see this is where your foot lifts up and down and this is where your scissor cuts. So I'm going to touch that button and I'm going to touch the picture of the knot. Now when I touch the picture of the knot, what's going to happen when I use my scissors now, it's going to knot off in 5 times. So you can see there's 5 dots here. If I push this one, it's going to sew along 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's going to cut. I don't want to have that one. And if I wanted to have that one, I could have it 3 times or 2 times, stitching forwards. So I don't want that, I just want my scissors. So I've gone scissor, knot, and knotted off 5 times. So I close out of here. So every time you want to get back to something, you go to that one. Okay, so now I'm going to start. I'm going to sew. I'm going to stop. and I'm going to scissor, and it's going to lock off 5 times in one place. Absolutely brilliant. So you can set this machine up to suit you, okay? Now I'm just going to take that out, and you can see that that has cut very, very, very precise and left a nice length, so it will never ever unthread. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you another button. So this one here is my reverse button. So I'll put the speed down. I'm going to start sewing. I'm going to reverse, and I'm going to keep sewing, and I'm going to stop. Now that's all very well and good, but I don't use that button very often because Bernina have put a very, very, very good stitch on your machine. Now on the screen here you can see this number 5. This is a brilliant, brilliant stitch. So if you touch number 5 like that, what it's going to do when you start sewing is do 5 stitches forward and 5 stitches back. And when I get to the very end of my work, I'm going to push this reverse button, and it's going to go 5 stitches back. It's brilliant. So it's an automatic forward and reverse function. I'm going to put it slow so you can see it clearly. So it's going to go forwards and reverse by itself. When I come to the bottom of my work, and I just touch this once, it finishes off my work. Isn't that brilliant? Now you can see it's stopping with the needle down. That's because I have asked it to stop with the needle down. If I tap that button there, 1 is down, and you can see the needle is below that line. 1 is up, and the needle is up. So if I choose to have it down all the time, I can do that. And I can touch this other button here if I want to bring it up. So you've got plenty of ways to be able to bring your needle up. So if I touch that button now, my needle comes up. If I touch the button now, my needle goes down. But it will not change the one on the screen. And there's another trick to show you. On your foot control, right down here on the ground, I'll pick it up to show you. This foot control, if I touch the foot control, watch what happens to my needle. The needle goes up. If I touch it, my needle goes down. So you've not only got it on your foot control, but you've also got it here, and you can have it permanently up on here. So you've got every which way to do it. It's brilliant. So I'm just going to turn my work around and show you that again. So stitch number 1 is straight sewing. So if I go forwards on straight sewing, so that's stitch number 1 there. Okay, it's on straight sewing. So if I go forwards and I push this button, it will go back however long I hold it. And when I go to the end of my work, by the way, my foot control's going slow because I've got this down there. So every time I push that button, it's going to go in reverse, right? I'm going to use my scissors, lock it off. Brilliant. But if I come back up here and use stitch number 5, which is this one here I was telling you about, I'm going to go forward and reverse without having to touch anything, automatically, and I'm going to go to the bottom of my work, and I'm going to touch the reverse button. Isn't that brilliant? So it's a really, really, really good stitch. Scissors, I've asked it to knock 5 times and cut off. So there you go. There's a really simple idea you may not have known was on your machine, and I use that every time I do a seam. Okay? Now I'm going to show you where to oil your machine and how to clean your scissor cutter. So when you're going to oil your machine, you must only use the Bernina oil that's provided. Okay, now this Bernina oil, I'll hold it that way so you can see it. It's got this lovely lid that pulls off. It's very tight because this is a new machine, and you have to turn it up and you just squeeze it and the oil comes out. So I'm now going to show you. So if you take off your foot, a little lever at the back lifts your foot off. You're going to unscrew your needle. Now this is a very special little Torx screwdriver. Goes in here and you unthread your needle take your needle out. Now you're going to drop the feed dogs down so you can take this plate off, and there's a little button on the side of your machine, and you push that button in, and if you have a look up on the screen, I'm just going to do that again. This is what it normally looks like. It's a little white picture and it's showing feed dogs up and down, and if I touch the button, it's now showing the feed dogs are down. Okay, so it's very, very, very good. So it's very clear what, if it's down it's yellow, and if it's up it's white. So I drop the feed dogs down. Now I want to take my sew plate off. So there's a little round circle on the corner here, and I just push it with 2 fingers and it lifts it up, and then I simply just lift it up from there. Okay, now here's your first oiling spot. Oops, everything's rolling. By the way, this here, it magnetizes on the side of your machine. So there's a little place and you just pop it on there and it magnetizes. I'm just going to pick up my screwdriver. Right, so inside this little area there's a little red dot. You can't miss it, and this is where you drop the oil in. So you just squeeze this little white marker here, and you can see the oil will just drop in there. Okay, and that's how you oil it, and then you put your lid back on. Now I'm going to show you where you oil your bobbin case. So, oh, by the way, let's go backtrack. Let's show you how to take this off and put it back on. So this little button here releases your sew plate. So you push it and you push it away from you. When you put it on, you simply slide it on and just push it from this side. Okay, so just push and it goes away from you. Now inside here you've got your bobbin case. Now please, please, please use 2 hands, 2 fingers to open up your door. And as I've shown you before, you push your bobbin case to the right to get it out. But now we're going to open this up here. Little lever, clip it to the left, and all of this will fall out. And we're going to take the shuttle system out. Now I'm hoping you can see nice and clearly there's 2 little yellow dots there, and that's where I'm going to oil. So I'm just going to put a drop on each. So just hold this over the little dots. Oops, did I get it out? Yes, 1 on there and 1 on there. So you can see, oops, maybe a little bit too much there. So you can see the 2 dots where the oil goes in. I might just give that a dab because I don't want it going everywhere, all over me. So now, if I hold that there, you can see clearly that there's a very large hole, and that's the one to show you that it joins up with the silver hole in the bottom, and that's how you put your bobbin case in. I definitely gave it a drink, didn't I? So I'm just going to hold this and line that up. And it's very, very clever because it kind of just magnetizes in when you've got it in the right spot. Where's my little hole? I think I can see it there. There we are. Now, all you do once that's in, and it is very easy, is you pop this back. But before we do that, I want to show you how you clean your scissor cutter, because a lot of my ladies get a little bit stuck with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and we're going to push the settings button. So this button here, your settings button, and we're going to go to the picture of the sewing machine. I had to think there for a minute. So we're going to go to the picture of the sewing machine, and then we're going to go to the picture of the tool, and then we're going to go to the picture of the little sweeping brush. We're going to touch that. Now what it says is here, cleaning the thread cutter. It tells you to remove the presser foot and needle, lower the feed dogs and remove the stitch plate. Well, I was a step ahead, I've done all of that. Now if you want to see what's below there, you can simply slide this up. Now what it says is select the link. So that's saying touch that, and it just did a little bleep. Then it says touch the automatic thread cutter, and this is this button. So I'm going to touch it, and if you watch down here, you're going to see some things happen. So if you watch down there, see how everything moved inside? Then what you do is you clean everything out make sure this is clean because it's a brand new machine. Then you scroll back up to here, and then it says select the link again. So you touch that, and it gave a little bleep, and then it tells you to push this thread cutter again. And everything goes back into position, okay? So come down to step 3 and touch it again, and you've cleaned everything and it's all back ready to sew. So it's 1, 2, 3 steps. Now once you've done that, you've oiled, you've cleaned your machine, you can push this back in, you can push your bobbin back in. Can only go one way, and remember you just push it to the left like that, cut your thread. You need to shut the door so it can read when your thread's running out. You put your sew plate on, and that's the little red, the little circle I was telling you about. The sew plate goes back on. And then you put your needle back in. Now the needles have a flat at the back. How can I show you that? The needles are flat at the back and round at the front, so make sure the flat goes to the back. And you push that up as high as it can go in your needle holder there. And then you tighten it with your special screwdriver that you never let anyone use. And then you put your foot back on. Now lift the foot up there, put your foot back on, and then you put your, use your needle threader. So the needle threader, I've shown you this before, and what I love about this needle threader is when I start to put it down, the foot will go down. You watch. Isn't that clever? So underneath there, push it down as far as your needle threader can go, slide your thread in, let it go, and then let your left hand go. Okay? It's foolproof. And what I love again is the foot then lifts up. Then you can put your thread in there and it's holding it. Now to get out of your screen, here's your screen here. To get out of it, you can just push the cross. And I will show you for cleaning your machine with the oiling, should I say, with the oiling. Go back to here because you can actually go and read about it as well. So settings, machine, tools, and oil, and it's going to show you exactly what I've shown you. And if you want to see the little video, you just wind your straight stitch button and it shows you exactly where to put the oil, just like I have. Take the sew plate off, where to oil it in there, exactly what I have, and then to put it back in. So it's very, very, very clear, and then you just cross to get out of it. So your machine will tell you just about anything. Now remember, I can't sew yet because my feed dogs are down, so I'm going to push my feed dogs back up. I'm going to put my sew plate back on like that, and I'm ready to sew again. Okay, so I'm just going to put straight sewing back on, and away I go. All right, so that's just the start of just a few little handy hints how to clean and oil your machine, to put your feed dogs down, to use your wonderful number 5 stitch. And the next video, I'm going to show you how the screen actually all works. So I will be seeing you very soon.